joined as always by Sedges Coughs and Jason Bent.
Hey, everybody.
Gentlemen,
Hello.
how are we today?
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Gov.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Gary. What's up, Governor?
Oh, actually, well, this is going to be in 2 weeks, but you guys hear about the Queen?
Yes, I did.
I did. From Gary, actually.
Really?
Yeah. He
was
wrote
just-
something and he was saying, like, I'm sure you've heard the news. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Longest serving monarch in the British.
70 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right. Before we even start discussing tonight's topic, Jason, would you like to tell the good folks about the giveaway for the month of September?
Giveaway for the month of September is a custom leather apron from Leather by Dragonfly, who was just here at my house this past weekend.
It's like a $500 or $600 value.
Yeah, depending on your size. Yep.
Faux free.
Faux free.
They're giving it away for free?
They are. They are. And
How
then
do you-
Jevin Chaney's he's gonna cook the meat that they take from the cow that they have to use to make it. You guys didn't know that Michelle she goes out and stalks wild cows. That's where they get their leather from.
True story.
She used to be an assassin for the military. Her code name was Dragonfly. That's why it's called Leather by Dragonfly.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen what's that movie? A Man
Called Dragonfly?
No, not A Man Apart. That was Denzel Washington.
A Man with
No,
a
it was the
Pouch?
movie. It was the movie where the
Man-
guy has like the air thing and he like kills people. He like puts up to their temple and shoots the air thing.
Oh,
and, like,
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men. That's what she does to cows.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They call her the Dragonfly slaughterer woman. That was her code name.
DSW.
Hey, on another note there, do you think Patrick actually kills the mice for the mouse pads?
No, he's way too delicate for that. He's way too delicate. He just
He's scared
goes
of
to like a
mice.
pet store where they feed the dead mice, the dead frozen mice to the anacondas. He's like, can I get a couple feeder rats?
He does seem delicate.
He is.
Very.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the Marine Corps. Like that's a requirement.
Oh my god.
Very delicate, dainty hands.
What have you guys been up to this week?
Guys, wait, I haven't even finished the giveaway talk. We got so
Oh.
sidetracked there.
Sorry, we got so sidetracked on that one.
Yeah, sorry. So a custom leather apron from Leather by Dragonfly, $500 to $600-ish value, depending on the size you get. It is open to all 50 states, and to enter, all you need to do is go to greensuiterspodcast.com and enter the giveaway there. If you want to find out more about the custom apron, go to leatherbydragonfly.com. Also, a little disclaimer, just so you guys know, it's a custom apron, but if you start adding all kinds of extra stuff that's not standard as part of the custom apron, you're going to pay for it. But think about it like this. You saved all that money on the custom apron. So you could end up getting the best leather apron on the market for either free or a couple $100. And that's pretty awesome. So thank you, Leather by Dragonfly. Now we can talk about what we've been up to.
Jason, tell us about your week. How's the new baby?
Great. Max is awesome. Patrick and Michelle were here Sunday through Wednesday. Finally testing negative for COVID, which is great. I feel awesome. What else? I've got a bunch of white oak, quarter sawn white oak sitting on my assembly table that I took off out of the racks today. I will be starting to mill that tomorrow for a new dining room table, 42 inches by 8 feet. It's going to be a big one, 8-person dining room table. But yeah,
And you're going to keep the walnut one, right? You're just going to put it in another room.
I don't know yet. I don't know. I actually considered like breaking it all apart and just scrapping
turning it
wood
to
and
a
using it
pallet?
for other stuff. Yeah, making a really nice pallet.
Do you ever think about selling it?
Yes and no. I just don't know if I want to go to the headache, because then people will be like, "Oh, will you take $100 for it?" You know. So.
But that's what it's worth.
Yeah,
Would you
it's
take
not even worth
100 for
100.
it?
It'd probably be good. No, absolutely not.
Hey, buddy, what kind of stain did you use on this table, man? It looks
Yeah,
really
it looks really good. Is this pine?
good.
Did you
Is
move
there a way
that
you can
knot?
take some
Did
chains
you use
and beat it up a
water-based
little bit to
stain
make
or
it
a
look
gel
distressed?
stain?
Yeah. Can you take some nails and put some wormholes in it? No. That's about it. I'm helping one of my buddies do some shop design and shop layout stuff for a new space that he has. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, other than that, I mean, just getting over COVID and feeling good back in the shop and ready to get after it. Football season's getting ready to start. Got another fantasy football league this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Bills Rams tonight.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Sedge, you?
Finally get the Harvey dance up and running. My God, is it working great? I bought some Timberwolf blades that I just love, and man, I bought a 3/4 resaw, and I just put it on there, tensioned it. Everything was, the wheels were in perfect and the same pull. It was quite nice to turn it on and resaw. I had a couple of scraps, so I took a 2x4 first, just checked a few things, and then I sliced it. I sliced it. I brought it to Marianne. Marianne goes, "What's this?" She goes, "This is wicked cool." I go, "It's a 2x4." She goes, "No way." So I went out and I resawed a small block of walnut, and I got about 15 veneers off of it. She kind of freaked out. And she goes, "My God." And I go, "Yeah, I can't wait now, because now it's going to open up a whole new avenue for me." What a nice saw. You know what I like? I really like because I always had deltas growing up. And I like the quick tensioner on there, or the quick tension release. You know, that big lever? That's nice. So there's a lot of great features on it. I like it's the first time I'm really messing around with bearing guides. And I like them because they're easy to adjust. So I've been doing that. I'm finishing up the sys wall. Jesus, I got 14 cabinets up. And I bought 35, 40 sys AZ drawers, and I'm not even finished. I got to buy another, I think, 25 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It just organizes the whole shop. Instead of having sustainers on one side and sustainers over here, now it's all in one spot. And it's a lot getting used to. I'm glad I moved that over. And you know how I started to do that miter saw area? I think I'm going to redesign it already. Really? Those cabinets I built for underneath the UG stand, I think I'm going to utilize those in the wall and then just build, because I'm losing some depth. So I'm going to do drawers like you did. So I have, I'm going to have so much great storage in there. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And I'm looking forward to some pulled pork sandwiches this weekend.
Yes.
So you know why? Because the biggest thing, I am so stoked, and Marianne and I were talking about this yesterday. We haven't seen Max yet. We haven't met Max.
I know. Freaking COVID destroyed everything.
And what a drag. I mean, you guys are just down the street, and I haven't met him yet. So we're really looking. And you know what? We love you, and we love Nicole, but boy, do we miss Leo.
Said you don't even know if Max is real or not. Let's be honest.
Well, no,
it could be a ruse.
Oh, it could be, huh? Boy, she could have had a pillow in there.
When I was at Jason's a few weeks ago, I saw his Amazon cart, and it had one of those fake newborn babies in it.
No way.
So I think Jason's been doing this for the likes. He's been doing this. This has totally been for the gram. Max isn't even real.
You got it. No, I'm excited. You'd mentioned the Harvey bandsaw. They wrote me a message when they saw my story about the lathe.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at that was another thing I was up to. Almost pulled the trigger on Nova lathe, which I know I wrote you about, Sedge. Yeah. But I might end up doing the Harvey. I don't know. It was between the Harvey and the Nova. But yeah, that might be a new addition to my shop soon. But yeah, it's awesome. Benifer, what have you been up to?
Motorcycle stuff. Just enjoying the weather. That's all I've been up to.
No kid.
Released a video last week. Got another one in the hopper. Just cranking it out, man.
So in Ben, in my feed, I just keep getting that. I'm gonna watch it because I just love your channel. But it's like late for the date. What's it called?
Yeah, late date. Yeah,
late date. Yeah. So I can't wait to watch it.
The one that's coming out next. So every single, I don't know if I talked about this. Every single Harley Davidson dealership has their own poker chip. Like it's very specific to that particular dealer. And so I'm going to be riding to all of them in the state. I think there's 18, and buying each one's poker chip. And I've got 5 now. I picked up a few the other day. One of which is what one of my next videos is about, is going to the one in Hampton. But you know what, while the weather's good, I want to ride as much as I can and make content. And
for sure,
electric vehicle stuff is on its way, and I want to have content there to get scooped up when it gets big.
Sure.
So
why are you going to buy the chips? I'm sure that if you told them what you were doing, they'd probably just give you one.
They're like $2. I'll be fine.
Times how many?
18.
That's
add it up.
$36.
Come on, Mr. Mathematician.
And that's one less coffee you can get at Starbucks.
That's a lot of money.
That's 18 times 2.
No, they're not expensive at all.
Oh, sorry, money bags. Forgot you go on vacation every week. So.
I'm happy to purchase them with my own hard-earned money.
Yeah, patrons, thank you.
But that's what I've been up to. You guys ready to dive into the topic for tonight? I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So, which do you think is better? Well, maybe better is not the right term. Should you only learn how to woodwork through watching videos or consuming media of some sort, like books, magazines, or is it wise to also take physical classes? Or do you think you're totally fine without taking physical classes? What do you guys think? Should people just stick to consuming digital or physical content, or should they maybe look into taking a class somewhere?
Why don't we kind of cover like what the pros and cons in our opinions are to each? Because I think that'll kind of answer the question from all of our perspectives. You know what I mean? Like how we feel about each one, pros and cons.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, this idea did come from one of our podcast listeners, question submitters, Mr. Rick Bino. And we just looked at it before the podcast and we're like, hey, this is a good topic. So thank you, Rick. And that is what we're going to discuss. So I guess I'll start it off if you guys are okay with that.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's my opinion. I think we're in a different time now, where video content is kind of king. And I think that there are advantages to that. That doesn't mean that I think in-person classes are dead by any means. Here's my opinions on it. It depends on what kind of learner you are, right? Everybody has a different style of learning, and I think that actually has a big play in how you are going to learn. Some people might go to an in-person class and take nothing away from it, while others may go to that in-person class and take a lot away from it. Some people might watch a video and get more than others would, right? Some people might read a book or a magazine article and get more than other people would. I don't think one is more important than the other. Where I see video content being a benefit for everybody is the fact that it's easily searchable, and at any time I can watch that video whenever I want, any time of day. I don't have to call somebody and ask a question. I can go to the video and review it. If there's ever something I want to see again, I can rewind it. That's something that you don't necessarily get in person. The difference between in person, though, is that I can be there, seeing somebody else do it, doing it in front of that person, and that person actually taking my hands, my arms, my whatever, and showing me how to do it right and staying there with me until it's done right. And again, for different people, that is effective in different ways. I think a healthy combination of the two is important. And that's coming from a guy who has never gone to an in-person training, but I would absolutely love to. I would love to go to Mark Adams. I'd love to take a class at, Rockler, Woodcraft. I see some pretty cool classes there every once in a while. I think that's how you're truly going to elevate. And the other thing the reason why I think you're going to elevate is because when you pay for a class in person to go to it, where you're going to have to leave there by completing that class that you paid for, so it's a little bit more personal, you're probably going to challenge yourself a little bit more than if you were to watch a YouTube video, right? So if I pay $3,000 to go to a Sam Maloof chair building class, I'm going to go there, and for a week, that is going to be my focus in life, right? Is to build that chair, ask the right questions, as opposed to here I am in my garage. Maybe I open up my phone and I'm like, Sam Maloof chair, and I see like a 20-minute video and it glosses over. So, yeah, I'll do this today and maybe I'll come back to it tomorrow. You're forced to do it there on the spot in a class. You're not forced to do it when you're watching it on a video. That's how I will start this off. Sedge?
This is something I could talk days on because I've lived on both sides of it as an instructor and as a student. I'm going to go back in time, not all the way back to the caveman. I'm going
just back to Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. When I was in Fort Lauderdale, I was in the South Florida Woodworkers Guild, and this was what I would say was an epiphanal moment. We would get together the first Tuesday of every month, and we would show, hey, what are you working on and stuff like that. And finally, I asked somebody, I go, hey, what exactly do we do anything? Do we bring in anybody to speak? And they go, what do you mean? And I go, well, do we have any instructors? Does somebody like famous come in or somebody world renowned come in and teach us like for a long week? And they go, we never thought of that. So we put a committee together, and I kind of spearheaded it, and we brought in Garrett Hack for the weekend. You know who he is? Mm-hmm. Okay, that was our first person. And what we did is I told everybody, I go, listen, I'm not going to stand there and be holding the bill at the end of this. This is all going to be prepaid by us. We had an underwriting committee. And we brought him in, and we did a lot of hands-on with him about hand planes and tuning hand planes and stuff like that. And then it was probably one of the best seminars I've ever attended. And it was epiphanal for me because at the very end, Garrett comes up to me and he says, hey, man, we had been out to dinner a couple of times. He goes, hey, I heard you know a lot about hand planes. I go, yeah, quite a bit. And he goes, did you learn anything? And I told him, I was taught as a kid to learn something from every human that I come in contact with. But he goes, what did you learn? And I go, how you held your work, how you use the hand plane. And it was not justification, but edification that I was doing it correctly, the way I was taught as a kid. But and he goes, oh, cool. That's what your takeaway is? I go, yeah. So I wouldn't get that, I think, in a true video. I wouldn't get to have that one-on-one feedback with somebody. And for me, that's everything. He would answer questions. He would go. And so when I teach, I took away, as I've learned from, we brought in the next year, we brought in Kelly Mailer, we brought in Jeff Jewett, we brought in, and that's the first time I met Mark Adams. And that was about 25 years ago, right when he was starting at school. We brought in a few other names of these and we did it every year. Why would somebody come down to Fort Lauderdale in February, right? We paid for everything, hotels. They loved it. And I thought it was dirt cheap. So learning from somebody who has that experience and who has run into he has or she has the solutions. And if you ask the question, you're like, oh, so you can watch the video, but it's always pointed on one topic where you get that person for the weekend. And it's amazing. So a lot came from those, and I learned, and I started teaching myself part-time at the Woodcraft. I was working at a few other places. I had my cabinet shop, but they asked me, hey, can you come teach? And when you learned, and this is what's important, when you have to teach, holy crap, you're the expert. You better know your stuff. And I loved it. I just immersed myself in instruction, so to answer this question, I'm going to go to this past summer and the past 2 years where I have been virtually training on Festool Live. I'm going to take it to Festool, Festool Shop Talk, and of course, Festool Sedge, right? I train that way. I'm a virtual trainer now. I'm a virtual instructor. And everybody freaks out because on Festool Live, the training program is out there. I'm just doing trainings, right? Every Friday at noon. And somebody asked me, do you miss the in-person classes? Or is Festool ever going to do in-person classes? And at work, we're always tossing it back and forth. And usually the answer recently has been no. Then, because I did it 2 years ago, and I did it this about 3 weekends ago, I taught at Mark Adams again, because Mark's a really good friend. And he asked me to come down on the weekend. I've been teaching down there for like 6 or 7 years, I think. And I taught a class and I had 12 people in there. And I'm going to tell you something. There's no replacement for in-person training. It was amazing. These guys were asking questions. I had Garrett with me, Garrett Sato, and he was he was helping me out. And you can only learn so much from videos, but when you can get your questions answered, and we can watch people as they're using the track saw. And these guys would start and they go, yeah, we've watched all your videos. I go, well, you got me now, so let's use these tools. And I'm going to tell you, it's that guided instruction that helps. So
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a really good point that I didn't even think about. It's like you're teaching a class, somebody has a question, they ask you right there and they get their answer immediately. As opposed to watching a YouTube video, they ask a question and maybe 3 days goes by before the person that made that video answers the question. Maybe too late at that point. That's a really good, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, immediate feedback.
Immediate feedback. And when I tell people, I go, guys, I don't mean to be blunt, but sometimes you're going to ask me that question. I'm going to go, no. And I go, you're going to ask me for a little elaboration, because I've probably been asked that question at least a couple thousand times, So it's good to take that class with somebody who knows or has been asked those questions and has the solutions and can tell you, yeah, that'll work. Or no, I think, yeah, you might want to try it this way. This is the way I would do it. But here's the other thing. You got to find the right instructor. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've said it before on this podcast. I've been to a few trainings here and there, but I'm going to tell you, Mark Adams is probably one of the best instructors I've ever met in my life, but he also brings in the cream of the crop instructors. Like, you may sign up for a class with somebody at Mark Adams and you hit this person you might not know, but he's the best in the world. Mark has you can look at it and it's a who's who of woodworking in his catalog of instructors, his faculty. But man, there's some people I go, Mark, who is this guy? And he goes, dude, he's never written a book. He's not published, but everybody bows down to this guy because he's that good. And the people I have met there are just so giving. And I mean, Michael Fortune, my God, he's like the king. I call him. It's fun, and he's always expanding his program. Like, he brings in somebody who carves metal, engraves metal, or makes knives. It's an incredible place. So I like that one-on-one instruction myself, I do it myself. That's what I do for a living. But I'll tell you what, times are changing. And I'm a YouTube fanatic. I really am. I I mean, I'll take it to my other passion, lifting weights. I every day I'm listening to a podcast and it's a video on YouTube. It's called Table Talk, and it's Dave Tate, but they talk about powerlifting and programming and stuff. And I'm like, these guys are the best in the world, and I have that opportunity to listen to their techniques, right? And you have that in woodworking, because there are some people out there that have woodworking channels that are the best in the world. And you know what the cool thing is they have the heart, they have the thought to pass on their craft. And that is, to me, is so important. That is a good human being, because woodworking needs to continue. And we get some great instructors out there on YouTube as well. So I'd say it's a beautiful mix. Get some great stuff off of YouTube, but go find a great woodworking instructor / mentor if you can, because that in-person training is phenomenal. So that's what I have to say about that. Ben?
So YouTube videos are like a puddle, a very big puddle. They're a mile wide and a foot deep. A class is going to be a foot wide and a mile deep. When you go to a class, you're going to walk away with a skill. When you watch a video, you're going to walk away with like an idea or an inspiration, or you're not walking away with a skill set when you watch a video. Now, I think videos are great supplements to skills. Just how you just said, Sedge, you already have a lot of foundational knowledge in weightlifting. And so by watching a video, it's teaching you a small tactic or a technique that you can then use on something that is already foundational. If you have no pre-existing foundations of a skill set, I mean, okay, videos are very helpful, but they're not teaching you anything, right? Because with a video, you're watching the doctored, sometimes scripted, edited version of how to do something, right? Whereas if you go to a class, you're getting the very raw experience. You're getting all of your senses engaged. You're smelling it, you're feeling it, you're hearing it, you're seeing it. And just how you said, you're able to get that feedback when you are doing whatever the task is, or when you're watching someone do it. Whereas you can still get that by watching a YouTube video, but it's not immediate. You're not connecting what you're seeing and hearing to what you're doing with your hands. There's a very big disconnect there. And so you can still build skills by watching videos, but it's going to take you a lot longer than if you were to just go to a schoolhouse where they would teach you how to do it. You're going to get that skill set much, much quicker. You're going to have a more sturdy foundation. Think of all of the videos on YouTube about woodworking that should not be on YouTube. I mean, there's guys out there that are wearing flip-flops in the shop. You know what I'm saying?
How did I know that you were going to try to bring that back to that? How did I know?
No, but the point is like when you're being instructed by an instructor anywhere, they have been vetted by something, right? When Jason and I were in the military, if you were an instructor, you had to go through a class, so you had to go through a course. You had to pass that course. For someone to get asked to come to a woodworking school, you have to be renowned. You have to be proven that you are knowledgeable and skillful in what you're doing. YouTube, there's no bar of entry. There's none. Anybody can go in there. And so again, unless this person has been validated or they have that social proof that they're knowledgeable and that they do know what they're doing, it's kind of a kick in the can. So I would say if you want to be a really great woodworker without having to spend a whole lot of time behind a computer screen, go to a class. You know, make it once a quarter if you can. And granted, you know, it depends on your area and if it's, you know, how much it's going to cost you to get there and stuff. But there is more value in a week class than there is in spending countless time on YouTube. Because how many times have you guys, because I know I have, how many times have you fallen into a hole on YouTube where you started off with an idea of trying to find something and the algorithm works and it just loops you into something else, and 2-3 hours later you're like, okay, how the hell did I end up here? So it's very easy to get distracted on YouTube.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. It always leads me back to some stupid motorcycle channel.
And
I
there's,
thought you were going to say Pornhub, but
oh my God.
Different website.
Hey, and there's also something else that goes on when you take a class. You meet other people in that class and you create killer relationships.
yeah,
because they're going
peer-to-peer
through
feedback.
Yep, but you also, it's the relationships that are created. Like when I used to teach end user classes at Festool, the best times were lunch, because people say, hey, where did you get this? Or where do you use, hey, where'd you get that measuring? Do you like woodpeckers? Oh my God. Did you like that pick a pencil? Hey, do you own the domino? Hey, and you would hear the feedback with these guys. And guess what? They made friends. And that's the other takeaway, taking a class. You're going to meet some people, and there's people, like I was talking to a guy at Mark Adams this time. He goes, yeah, I've been coming here for 25 years. And when we were at lunch, like 4 or 5 guys came up to him that were in other weekend classes. And they said, hey, Rick, how you doing? And I go, yeah, I took a class with him about 10 years ago. So that is the other great part of stuff like that. You meet people and you get that, you create relationships.
Yeah.
Fun.
I think I'm going to take a class at Mark Adams soon.
I told Mark I'm going to take one next year. I'm going with him. And he just looked at me and he said, really? I go, hell yeah, it'd be fun. He goes, anytime. You want to do it?
We should go together.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. We'll take his week-long joinery class.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Something that I wanted to add to this, right? Now that we've all shared our opinions, I think there is a nice middle balance that we haven't addressed yet. And that's when you take paid video courses, right? Give you an example. Mark Spagnolo, he has the Guild. I purchased one of his classes. I never have any intention on building the class that I bought. But the reason why I did is because I wanted to see what paid instructional content was like compared to YouTube, right? So now you have a combination of the both, right? You have much more intimate lesson, we'll say, that is far more detailed than YouTube, and also is broken down into sections that are easy to follow. So I think that, and you know, there's not a lot of people out there that are doing it. There's multiple people that are doing that. But I think that's what people need to understand. You know, you have Top Dollar, right? Top Dollar probably going to be Mark Adams, right? Some of these other well-renowned schools all over the world. And then you have YouTube, it's free, right? How much effort is going to be put into YouTube versus, you know, the classes where people have been woodworking for X amount of years, they have no desire to make videos, but they're getting paid very well, handsomely for their instructional capabilities at a school that's going to provide multiple things. Well, what do you do when you merge those two things together, right? You have something like the Guild. What I can tell you from watching that, right? Because I have aspirations of doing something similar to that as well. And the reasoning for me wanting to do that is not because I'm just trying to make a bunch of money from people. It's because I can put more time and effort into a much more in-depth instructional course that people are purposely, it's not going to be for everybody, but people are purposely going to spend the money on to buy, which means they're more serious about it, right?
Yes.
So much smaller audience, but they're more serious about increasing their skills, which means therefore, if I'm charging for it, I can spend more time, you know, creating that content, making sure that it's very in depth in an effort to make money myself, but also provide quality content. I think that's where the two merge. And that's like the next step up from YouTube, right? But you don't want to necessarily commit to spending $2,000 on going and learning joinery techniques for a week, right? Maybe you want to learn how to build that specific project that incorporates 15 things that I want to learn how to do, and I can do it at my own pace, but I'm going to get really good detailed instruction from it. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't agree with it fully because, there are videos out there where the right amount of detail can be given. I would say that it's in that course. I mean, I'm not in the Guild, so I don't know what his content looks like there. But are there areas, community areas, where people can either leave comments or interact with each other, and is it just like YouTube where you kind of leave the comment and it's there in the ether, and if someone answers, they answer it. If not, they don't.
Yeah, sure. There's other benefits that you get with that too. Like, let's say that you're a guild member and you leave a comment on a project for Mark. Like, I would assume, I don't know because I haven't done it, I would assume Mark is going to give priority to those individuals on a much quicker response time because they're paid members.
Yeah.
So that brings in the discussion of immediate feedback, right? You're going to get much quicker feedback because you're paying for a service. The comment that you made about, like, I believe there's videos out there that can give the right amount of feedback. That's for you, Ben. You know what I mean? Like, you may not buy an instructional course because you think this video, but you also have a much higher skill set. What about the person who doesn't have that ll set and they're looking, but they don't want to go to Mark Adams? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And I'm not trying to discredit it. I just don't want it to make it seem like, that there is not good content on YouTube, because there certainly is.
Well, but I don't want to make it sound like that either.
Oh, no. And I know you didn't mean to, but I think when it comes to paid content, because both players have more at stake, meaning, Spagnolo is taking people's money to provide this instructional content, and other people have paid to do that. See, there's more skin in the game when it comes to paid content. There's more skin in the game when it comes to going to a physical class, because again, there's more at stake. When it comes to YouTube, it's no skin off my back if somebody doesn't, take my content or watch it, or vice versa. It's a very open market. So I think that when you have paid content, because there is skin in the game, people are more, they're a little bit more focused on participating on that platform, if that makes sense. It's like, hey, I paid for this, so I'm going to ask more thorough questions. I'm going to ask more specific questions. Hey, I'm taking people's money for this instruction. I'm going to be a little bit more thorough on making sure that I answer the comments in a timely manner. So there's more skin in the game there. So I agree with you. It is probably a better experience when it comes to learning, because of that, the environment that you have there.
And if I may comment, there's another factor that goes into all these platforms. The one thing I care about is, for me, it doesn't matter. All of these platforms are great, whether it's YouTube or paid YouTube platform or in-person instruction, as long as people are coming into the trades or coming into woodworking. Okay. But here's a situation. There's not a lot of people get intimidated to do things in front of other people. And you're right. So that's why I think some people don't go to in-person trainings, because they're going to have to pick up a handsaw or a power tool. And I'll use this.
They don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, embarrassed, right?
They don't know what they're doing,
because they're just getting started. And I met a guy in 2020. Okay. I was teaching a Festool class, and he was from Maine. And I started talking to him, and he seemed a little standoffish, a little shy. And I go, so how many Mark Adams classes have you been to? And he goes, this is my first one. And I go, you flew in for this weekend class? He goes, yeah, but I'm here for a week-long class after. I vote, I'm just getting into woodworking. I've never, done it before. And I was kind of blown away by this guy. And he seemed, like I said, a little standoffish. We were all wearing masks. That was in October of 2020. And he was there he's been there every summer. He comes 4 times a year now. But he was one of those guys that I thought, wow, he seemed a little intimidated in the beginning, but boy, he realized, wow, this place is cool. And there's a lot of other people on the same level I am here. And that's what I want to get across to people. Maybe listen to this podcast, immerse yourself. Everybody, if you go to a school and you feel like you might be intimidated, try to get that out of your head, because everybody has to start somewhere in that, and maybe you start on YouTube, or maybe you do this guild thing. But man, I think in-person instruction, and I am a, how do you say, I'm a true believer in it. Yeah, I do it for a living, but this guy, Chris, I'll just say his name. He's just super cool dude. And I think he's taken a couple dozen classes over the last year and a half, 2 years at Mac Adams. He was there taking a week-long class on, I forget what it was. And you know what he always says? Hey, Sedge, I know you're busy. You want to go get some wings? Because guess what? He was down for a class in 2021. And he reached out to me on email. He goes, hey, listen, I heard about this place you always talk about. Take me there. And we went to Ale Emporium down in Greenwood, and I took him out for wings. And he's like, this place is great. So he always asked me, let's go get some wings. So guess what? This guy found a great place to learn about woodworking. And 2, the best thing is I have a new great friend.
Awesome.
And that's the beauty of this. It's that human to human contact you make, but you do it through woodworking, and you gain a skill set, and you gain a craft. So sorry. Like I said, I could talk forever on this. I apologize.
I think that what we can walk away from this conversation is that we all agree, YouTube is kind of like that great entry level point, maybe more effective for others, just based on their learning style. Nice middle ground where you can kind of, get into paid content. Paid content is going to be the next level up, right? And then, I can't argue with you guys. Like, in-person classes, in my opinion, like, you're there, you're doing it, you're forced to do it, and you paid for it handsomely, right? So you're going to take it more seriously. So I think it's just kind of a tier thing. I don't think one replaces the other by any means. I absolutely do not.
No. And I like I said, man, I'm on YouTube all the time. I use it to just say I just buy something and I want to just get a quick overview of something. It's very beneficial.
Like I said, it's a great supplement to foundational skill.
Yeah.
If you already possess it, it's only going to enhance it. I think about how, I don't want to say how much quicker I could have gotten good at woodworking. I would say,
you're still waiting, right?
What's that?
You're still waiting, right?
Waiting for what? To get good
to
at
be
it?
good at woodworking.
Oh my God.
I could have arrived at a,
Zoom.
I didn't even think it was a really good one, to be honest. I thought my flip.
That's because it was against you, Ben, and you suck.
Infinitely better disc. I think that I could have arrived at the place I'm at now had I been in an environment where I had someone teaching me. Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
You can still arrive to the same point. You just might get there with less headaches and
less flops.
Yeah, less flops. You have better at bats, but they're good at bats versus you just kind of like trial and error until you figure out how to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, you probably would have ended up where you're at right now by reading it on the back of a Lucky Charms box.
If they would put stuff on the back of the Lucky Charms box, but they don't do that anymore. Trust me. Every time I go to Walmart, I look in the cereal aisle. I'm like, did they do it this time? Like, no, they didn't.
Am I going to be a better woodworker? Where's the Lucky Charms?
There's no more magic treasure hunts on the back of Lucky Charms.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get you back for all that crap talking that you did when I wasn't on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Oh well,
you wearing flip flops right now?
Go there, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
They're called
not
shop
doing
flops.
Any woodworking.
Shop flops, trademark. Vince Woodworking.
Shop flops. Yeah.
Well, Jason, do you
All
have
right.
any internet love
I
for us
do.
this week? All right, everyone. It is time for the favorite segments of all the times. Getting the pants.
Okay. So this is from my garage door insulation video.
Ooh.
This person writes, "Man, that is ugly. Looks like a mattress."
I'm trying to figure out if that's a diss or not.
It
Like
is.
you wouldn't. Go ahead. Hey, nice shirt, buddy. What are you trying to look like a soft, cuddly kitten?
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to diss something that's like a pleasant thing, a pleasant experience, you know?
I'll read at this point, like I'll read anything. I'm getting so bad about responding to comments on YouTube. But I'll just take anything that even seems like it could remotely be funny or a negative comment. This one's on my Festool TS55F first look. This person says, "New blades too thin to sharpen." I get, 1.8 millimeter kerf. He's concerned about resharpening his blades. They're too thin to sharpen, guys.
That's someone that has way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, it's like, come on, are you kidding me? I'm just seeing nice ones now.
I would rather listen to Jason attempt to read a book out loud than to sharpen a saw blade.
Yeah. It's really bad. Like I need to get back. I need to get better about answering questions again, because when it comes time to do these get bent segments, it's like I have to sit here and scroll through and through and through and through
Until
and
you
through.
find a
It's
good
like,
one.
oh man. But I mean, I don't mean to sound braggy or anything, but so many of my comments are good. It's really hard to find a bad one. I mean, I could just read, great video, or man, well explained, or man, you're the best instructor ever on YouTube. The best illustration video about a topic I've watched so far.
I want to put my baby in you.
Oh, yeah. Here's an interesting one. This is on the best table saw fence on the market. Prove me wrong. You can get the Chinese knockoff off Banggood for $69.
Banggood?
Yeah,
God.
Banggood. Apparently, they have a $69 version of the Inkrif table saw fence.
I would not advise anyone to go to Banggood on a work computer.
Especially if it's 69.
Yeah, Banggood.com, $69. It all sounds. That all
Banggood
sounds good.
69.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That went quick.
That was a quick one. We did talk for a little while beforehand, though.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
But we all
Jason,
get
another
to bed.
superb video. Well done, man. See this? It's amazing. Oh wait, hold on. I do have one more good one.
Jason, do you still run that 1,000 phone comment farm in your garage?
Mm-hmm. It's in the basement now. This is a good one.
Oh my!
Oh,
look at all my loyal followers.
This is the dining table that you and I delivered, Sedge.
Mm-hmm.
This person says, "Guy says their name like it means something. LOL. It don't."
What?
Yeah, because in the video I had mentioned the name of the people that I was building it.
Oh,
for.
yeah.
That was the guy's comment. Oh, good times.
What a dick for.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Great episode.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Don't forget, if you want to enter the chance to win a custom apron from Leather by Dragonflies, the assassins over at Leather by Dragonfly, go to www.greensuiterspodcast.com, go to the giveaway tab, fill out your information, and stand by for the drawing the first week of October. But thank you so much for giving us your time and attention. We look forward to talking with you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I bid you adieu.
Bye-bye.
Adieu.
I do. Bye bye.
Bye bye.